Welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I'm your host, David Streggy, and here we have another review for you. It hails from Belgium by a director by the name of Rob Ceus, or Kiss, or forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, but it's called Slime. See it? Definitely a cool cover. It's got a production company called Terror Visions Productions, and it's got quite a few things coming up. He's got zombies in Sector 9, but this short film is definitely interesting. It kind of reminds me of that short little thing where in Creepshow, where we have Drogon, who is played by Rob Ceus. Well, he's walking through the woods and ends up seeing a meteor crash through the sky, and it's glowing green, and it turns out to be a rock that is just glowing like kryptonite. So once he goes to this rock and tries to pick it up, it starts to melt in his hands, and with this black liquid kind of stuff all over his hands. But he picks up the rock, and evidently he goes back to his home with it. And ultimately he starts itching all over the place. You start seeing open holes in his arms, and suddenly you see greenish liquid gushing out of his body bit by bit. I love that he starts to go through a sense of melting entirely, where his skin just starts to decay in this greenish glow, and then it's like his pants are like waving back and forth. It's kind of hilarious. But there's this greenish liquid that kind of looks like oil that is pooling onto the floor, and then he calls the Center for Disease Control, and the disease control guy is actually played by Alex Wesley, who is a Russian director. So I love that Alex Wesley is very supportive of his fellow filmmakers in and around where he's from. So he's definitely got a lot of a hand in a lot of projects, and I love that. So I've kind of followed Alex Wesley from one point to another. Not that I'm entirely obsessed, but whereas Alex Wesley, he's done Zombie Infection, Tumors, Demon Mind, which eventually I'll get around to doing video reviews of. But in any case, that's not whose film I am doing. I thought that this film was funny. I thought it was entertaining. I thought, I mean, you got this guy. He's evidently saying, "What the fuck is going on here?" over and over, and he's standing there. You're wondering why he is just standing there. You think that because he was itching and all that, he would have called already, but he calls. Well, he dies. Or disappears, actually. All of a sudden you see like his body entirely disappears. Clothes just kind of fall to the ground. And these guys in hazmat suits show up at his door, crack the window, and come in. And it's kind of funny. All of a sudden the guys go into the room, and they evidently are investigating. They see the rock on the table, which is still slightly growing, and the one guy steps into the room, and he was like, "Oh God, I think I stepped in something." And it's like, no shit, buddy. But I thought that the special effects in here were very good. I thought that, you saw the character of Drogon just go through this like immense melting process, and I liked how his hand was just kind of as it was melting, it kind of looked like a hand that eventually became like a green sickle, like a green icicle of some sort, and that was entertaining. I love that entire scene, and I have to admit that I'm very. I thought that the way the meteor looked and the way the rock looked when it was first glowing, that was a cool effect too. So I think that there was some money put into that, and it was definitely cool. So I enjoyed this film. I'm not sure if I said anything more than I already said or whatnot in my written review, but I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm gonna show it to you again. Definitely a cool, DVD. I mean, it's not all region, but it's definitely cool that I was able to get a copy from Rob himself. So I'm looking forward to what more is in store from this director, and so far so good. So in any case, hopefully like and subscribe. Definitely check out my channel, and hopefully you enjoyed my review on this film. It was definitely unique and entertaining, and I will probably enjoy watching this again and again. So in any case, have a good evening, folks.